Hey, I'm Pierce with Light and Done, and today I'm going to share with you my 4 favorite ways of applying clean armor by hand. No spray guns in this video. For today's demo, we'll be using Clean Armor 700 interior wood finish in a matte sheen. We're first going to fill any knots and cracks with Clean Armor 737 knot filler and prep the entire surface by sanding our project down to 220 grit. Now we're ready to prepare our finish. One trick I always use with Clean Armor is to add about 10 to 15% isopropyl alcohol to my finish. It helps it flow and level out better. I use 99% IPA, which you can find at your grocery store. If you can only find the 91% stuff, that'll be okay, but avoid the 70%. It's just too much water in it. Also, always remember to strain your Clean Armor through a 90 micron finish strainer and filter out any debris that might have gotten in your mix when you filtered in the alcohol. Let's start with the brush. Now, a few things to keep in mind when applying Clean Armor with the brush. The softer the brush, the finer the finish. I know some of you might be tempted to grab that brush you've got sitting in the garage, but trust me, start with a fresh new brush just dedicated for applying Clean Armor. Please don't use chip brushes or foam disposable brushes. These will leave a poor finish. Invest in a decent brush and it'll last you a long time. I'm using the soft Wooster silver tip 3-inch brush. It's the perfect combo of size, comfort, and performance. The 3-inch head covers a good amount of area per stroke, which means fewer overlap lines, giving you a smoother finish. Here's the trick with applying Clean Armor with a brush. The right equipment plus the right pressure. Use long, uninterrupted strokes. The goal is to let the brush float on the finish. Add minimal pressure. Just let the weight of the brush keep it in contact with the surface. The most common method of hand applying Clean Armor is with a stain pad. But keep in mind, not all stain pads were created equal. I've tested a bunch of them, and I've narrowed it down to my top 3. Let's classify them as good, better, and best. Let's start with the budget option, a basic stain applicator. These pads usually have a foam reservoir to hold excess finish and a lot of small, densely packed, short hairs for smooth application. Here's a pro tip. If you want an even smoother finish, try covering the bottom of the applicator with pantyhose. It helps to create an ultra smooth surface for applying this type of finish. Use long strokes and play around with the angle of the applicator. I found that tilting it slightly at the end of your stroke can help create a better final finish. Professionals call this tipping off, and the technique can be used with all of the stain pad applicators. For the better option, we're going to be using the Trimaco Super Tough staining pads. This one's got just the right mix of qualities for a great finish. When using this pad, pressure matters more than angle. I like to hold it at about a 45-degree angle with light pressure. Always overlap your previous passes slightly to avoid streaks, and with a little practice, you'll be good to go. Before I get to my favorite method of applying Clean Armor, let's talk about the biggest mistake I see people making when applying Clean Armor, and that's applying it too thin. Clean Armor might act like a wiping varnish, but if you apply it too thin, it won't cure properly underneath the UV light. You need enough film thickness for the UV light to trigger the curing process. If it feels gummy or you leave fingerprints in the finish after you cure it properly, you probably didn't apply enough finish. I always recommend testing Clean Armor on scrap pieces first. Get to know how the product works and experiment with different techniques to find what works best for you before you use it on your projects. Now, my favorite method. This is the one that I use most often, the Wooster Pro Wool Applicator. After trying all sorts of brushes and pads, this is my personal favorite, and here's why. It's 5.5 inches wide, so you get lots of coverage quickly. The wool is soft and fine, which means no brush strokes, just a smooth, even finish. When using this applicator, I found it's more forgiving than other options. The wide, soft texture is perfect for my style of finishing. Like everything else, the key is in the final pass. Go for long, straight strokes with the right pressure, and you'll get that perfect finish every time. Now, a quick helpful guide to wrap things up. I like to call this the 4 T's of troubleshooting clean armor: temperature, timing, thickness, and thinning. Let me break it down for you. Temperature. Ideally, your clean armor and the project you're working on should be above 70 degrees Fahrenheit. The finish flows and levels better at this temperature. One trick I've learned is to warm up the bottom of the clean armor bottle in some hot water to help bring up the temperature. Timing. Make sure to give your clean armor the full 2 minutes under the UV light. I know it can be tempting to cut it short, but don't. Even though the finish might look cured, trust me, if you don't wait the full time, it will not cure properly. Thinning. I always add a bit of 99% isopropyl alcohol to my finish, especially since I work here in the cooler temperatures of the Pacific Northwest. Thinning helps the finish flow better in our cool weather. Thickness. Don't go too thin. If you're getting sticky, half-cured finishes, you didn't apply enough. You need to have a certain film thickness for the UV lights to fully cure the finish. I offer a starter kit on the Lite website, which includes all 4 of the applicators I'll be covering today. They have been tested by me, so you know they'll work great with clean armor. The link is below. All right, I can't wait to hear how your projects turn out. Drop a comment below and let me know about your successes or any challenges you have with clean armor. Happy woodworking, and I'll see you in the next video.